Phineas and Ferb Christmas Vacation is something I know I remember watching as a kid because I watched it premiere on Disney Channel way back in 2009 or 2010. Or was it Disney XD? I don't know. Either way, I just remember watching it every single year. I do remember liking it a lot because of how the plots interweave. Let's begin. So we open with the holiday theme song, which is actually plot relevant because Phineas and Ferb turned their beds into dual toboggans. I'm a bit disappointed they don't have their winter looks from the New Year special because when they're giving Getty a shower, well, they're wearing their summer looks. So, in the actual episode, there's something rather familiar that I enjoy. Flight delays. Okay, I enjoy watching comedies about them. I actually don't enjoy being in them. So basically, a snowstorm has delayed their grandparents, which is why the Flynn Fletcher parents are sort of just out of this for most of the special. But hey, Candace freaks out over presents, and she's doing it to Linda over the phone. I used to believe that her obsession with finding the perfect gift for Jeremy was over the top and obsessive. And then I became a teenager, and said, oh, this is actually totally reasonable to freak out over. And then I became an adult, and found it over the top again. And then I became a teacher, and found it over the top, yet somehow perfectly relatable and understandable. I guess the moral of the story is life will take you to weird places and you'll know and become more empathetic, I guess. Especially if it's a pencil neck cartoon character who's freaking out over a boy. Well, that's a weird moral for this. But to get out of Candace's freak up, Linda actively invokes Candace's busting instincts to get her to hang up and check on the boys, who are lollygagging in bed. So apparently, Phineas and Ferb write letters to Santa every single year, something Candace finds incredibly childish. I would say Candace's skepticism of Santa's existence would be weird, as pointed out by everyone on the internet. This takes place in a Marvel universe. Weird is normal. And then again, just because weird is normal doesn't mean you'll accept every bit of weirdness. There needs to be layers. Though I do like how they repurposed Nessie sightings and the Shrouded Turin to be Santa Claus-esque sightings. So Candace cooks up a scheme to have Jeremy write a letter to Santa and then intercepts that letter in order to learn what he wants. Candace denounces Phineas' idea of just ask him as childish. Okay, that sounds exactly like something a teenager would do. So anyways, Phineas is disgusted by the blueprints of what Ferb wants to do for Santa this year, and well, after turning it over, it's actually a great idea. Now for my favorite joke of the special. Perry brings a snowman to life in a clear Frosty the Snowman reference, and then the snowman gets plowed to death off screen. And then later at the Christmas Eve party at Alka, Monogram apparently eats it. Also, Perry gets a Sal Tuscany CD from Carl. Okay, they joke it's not from Carl, but Secret Santa and all that. This becomes plot relevant. So, apparently, even Jeremy, at 6:42 in the morning on Christmas Eve, can still see through Candace's whole ruse, because he at least is cognizant enough at 6:42 in the morning to know, Candace, is this part of a scheme you're doing? So anyways, with Phineas and Ferb, Clubhouse has been built, and if you turn it upside down, I don't see what Phineas found objectionable about it. I don't know, maybe the lights look like hanged men. But then again, the actual blueprint he holds later doesn't look like that, and turning it upside down, still don't get it. Okay, so Operation Thank Santa is on the way. The kids want to thank Santa Claus for all that he's done for them. Of course, Doofenshmirtz captures Perry. Hey, what can you expect? And Doofenshmirtz's latest innator is to ruin Christmas. It's called the Naughty Innator, and it's filled with naughty nectar, depicted as white milky liquid. I'm sure the comments section will point out the unintentional innuendo of this. So he intends to create a cloud of naughtiness to interfere with the naughty list and make Christmas not come to the tri-state area this year. So he won't do that, actually, because Doof hates every other holiday except he can't muster the hate for Christmas. So he won't destroy Christmas without a reason or a backstory for now. So it's time to decorate the town in a music montage. And apparently Isabella can hang stockings with a fighter jet on a building. Drones wish they can be as precise as her. Meanwhile, Ferb is swinging around the city like Spider-Man, something Disney bought around this time. So, this is what it looks like, and look at the giant Santa on the building. The office workers must be thinking, this is a bad idea, but it's so festive. Come to think of it, everyone in this photo probably thinks it's a bad idea. Then again, it is Christmas Eve, so I don't think anyone's actually in those offices right now. Of course, all this decorating causes issues with Candace's convoluted scheme to get Jeremy to write a letter to Santa. So, it's the midway point, and we need Doof to get his reason to hate Christmas, so he goes with annoying carolers. Why? Because they burst in and demanded figgy pudding. Doof turns on the Naughtyinator. Not sure why this is what causes him when they used to do so much worse when they say, we won't go until we get some. It involves the English getting punch drunk on Christmas and destroying London. So keep this in mind. How does Doof's Uncle Justin know how to interfere with Santa's naughty and nice list? For that matter, how did he get naughty nectar? So because of the midpoint shift, we see Phineas and everyone get their letters back with a naughty stamp over them. Candace seems awfully quiet over how, this is the whole reveal that Santa exists because the North Pole stamped all of their stuff with naughty. In fact, she seems more concerned with twisting the knife when it comes to Phineas supposedly being a naughty person. Phineas decides to cope not with alcohol, but with delusions, the child version of alcohol. I do love the whole interaction where Buford has his last-minute penance theory while he's explaining this to Baljeet, who wants to be kissed underneath the mistletoe, and Baljeet just goes, "Don't flatter yourself." Ah, boy, that joke is always funny. Let's cut back to Doofenshmirtz, where Perry's last nerve is about to be broken by the carolers. For a secret agent, he'd probably underwent something like torture resistance training, and probably music was one of them, but even he's breaking, so, well, that's never a good sign. Better than what they did back in the day. Like I said, people used to go on rampages during Christmas because they got punch drunk. So after lashing out at Jeremy, everyone gets their I'm Sad song. And then the I'm Sad song stops. No, they're not naughty. They're going to go send a message to Santa Claus. Well, the transmitter isn't powerful enough, but Ferb has a solution. I assume this was from the giant Santa suit they used to decorate the town earlier. This works. They did get 2 magical elves sent their way. But, here's the issue. Santa ain't coming to Danville, even though they've been cleared of the charges of being naughty, except for Buford, because Buford. And worse, the South Tuscany CD was planted by an infiltrator, who manages to destroy the naughty nectar vials and stop the innator, but Santa has already taken off, so, whoops, a bit too late for that. So the kids need to play catch-up. And after Buford gets all the lights to turn on so that they can steer clear into the night, they get to work, delivering the presents. And Candace apparently got Jeremy his gift relatively quickly, Baljeet gets his kiss, Doof gets beaten up and gets a reason to hate Christmas, and apparently this whole thing was a gamble by Santa Claus himself. So everything from the innator to the South Tuscany CD to Candace and Jeremy, it all worked out. Even Phineas got his dream of being exactly like Santa. This actually makes the special so much better. The end. This was a nice, fun, saving Christmas types of special. I love it's a whole low stakes despite being played up as high stakes because we don't know it's actually low stakes until the end. Because had Phineas and Ferb failed, their pride probably would have gotten wounded, but Santa would at least clean up the mess for them. But in terms of the pacing, there was a song cut, What Does He Want? Which, honestly, this song does feel like padding. But overall, it's a perfectly enjoyable spin on the Saving Christmas special type, which we'll probably see more of as the month progresses. Most everyone gets their moments to shine from Phineas and Ferb, although Ferb was sort of a joke moment of shining. And although I think my biggest criticism is that I don't think Isabella gets her big moment to shine. Yes, she does sing, but well, I don't think she gets a moment in this. Then again, she doesn't normally celebrate this holiday, but still, it's an overall enjoyable special that I'd recommend to anyone watching it every single year. Those are just my thoughts. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.